Welcome to the May 6, 2020 meeting of the Board of Works of the City of Muncie, Indiana. We'll begin with a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll begin with roll call. Linda?
Ted Baker,
present.
Jerry Wise,
Present.
Linda Gregory.
Present. Thank you. Mr. Conway, do you have any comments for us on the register of claims for the week?
I just want to point out a couple of larger claims that we had this week. So on page 7, under Board of Works Communication Center, there's a $120,000 claim. That is the city's portion. So the city and the county going together to purchase the technology for emergency management that they use. So the county pays half of it, the city pays half of it, and that is the city's half for 2020.
And that's a standard claim that we have annually, correct?
Correct. The only other one I want to bring to your attention is on page
20.
Thank you. And that is for $60,000 under the Fund 480 grants. The city is the fiscal agent for a grant that Bridges received from FSSA. And this is the first payment being made out of that grant, those grant funds. So I just wanted to make that new fund, just point that out to you because there will be more in the coming months being paid out of that.
And those are funds that were allocated for homeless providers or during the pandemic.
Yes, correct.
Thank you. Okay. Ted, do you or Jerry have any questions on this week's set of claims?
The two that I had mostly were what Trent's already dealt with. Other than that, the claims that were for Calabri Engineering and Vanderwall and Associates, those are for professional services that we've already opened bids for, and those are just normal services that we're paying, right?
I don't know if Vanderwald is something that maybe you opened a bid for. That's
No.
Yeah,
That's a
they're helping
holdover.
us. Yeah, they're helping us with economic development.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's all I have. I know that the total for our approval today is $557,112.38. So that's a lot of money, and I've gone over, Linda, probably just like you and Jerry, I've gone over line item by line item. Again, most of them are utilities and insurance. So that's all I have.
Jerry, any questions or comments?
But just, Trent, I've asked this every meeting, but so is that a standard 550,000 a month? Approximately?
It'd be weekly, and it really depends on the claims. You know, this week we had a $120,000 bill.
Still about 25 million a year.
Yeah, coming out of the general fund. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Linda, how about you?
I didn't have anything this week other than to note that cages and whatever that the rest of that line item is now at 0 as we anticipated. So
Yes.
that's kind of where I look, is to see where we are in terms of accounts and their expenditures based on appropriations. But I think we're in good shape.
Yeah.
And just so the board's aware, there is an ordinance that is going to be introduced at the next council meeting to move around general fund numbers to get them to where we anticipate them needed for 2020. So really to fix the 2020 budget, since one wasn't passed last year. We've met with every department, kind of seen what their needs are, and we've been able to move the numbers around, but keep the same budget for the year. So hopefully once that gets passed, it'll free up some money in some of these areas that have already been 100% expense.
Very good. Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, if there are no other questions or comments, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the register of claims.
I second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye. And
Thank you.
Linda, we need to approve the minutes from last
Oh,
week.
I'm sorry. Yes.
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes from the last.
I had questions first. I just want
Well,
to
we
make,
have a motion on the floor. Do you intend to second it?
yes.
Okay. Now then, you had a question?
Yeah, I just want to make note that right at the very bottom on the first page that, and you may have answered this already, Trent, that we have the, instead of BOA, that the expenses are accumulated in the mayor's, and just put the account number under him instead of the BOA.
Say that, oh, under the edit? Is that what you're talking about?
Jerry Wise, I am not accepting, it's at the bottom of the page.
Sorry, I don't have the minutes in front of me.
You don't have, bottom of the page, last paragraph, there's a sentence above that.
Would you read it, please, so that we know what it is?
Well, the sentence is Jerry Wise feels that the category right and wouldn't be better to have the fund under his account instead of BOA, the mayor's account. And then at the last paragraph, Jerry Wise stated, I am not accepting, it's the same thing, basically. So instead of BOA, mayor's account, just we had some BOA accounts last time, and I was wondering what they were, and they came from the mayor. And I just think that looking at that from a budget standpoint, it's really the mayor's expense, not the BOA's.
Well, they aren't really mayor expense. They're city expenses. And we can either pay them out of Board of Works because they're generic to the city, which is what we tend to do, or out of edit funds based on past practices.
Right.
I just feel it'd be better from a budget standpoint to be under a category, whether it's edit, mayor, whatever.
Well, first of all, the council doesn't appropriate edit funds. They do appropriate the mayor and the Board of Works. So that's an issue that the mayor and the council need to resolve, and they can do that with this budget via ordinance or next budget via that ordinance. So I
Whatever.
think it's a moot point now.
Okay.
Any other comments on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. We're up to old business, and we are going to be looking at the media services contract. Finally, Trent, is that yours to proceed with?
That is mine, yes. So this is the contract. We've had our legal team at Beasley Gilkison look over this. They've modified some stuff. We got with Mark to review what he is currently doing to make sure that all the boards and the videos he is doing is in the contract. And we've added a termination and a renewal clause to it.
Okay, could we have a motion and then we can discuss it?
I make a motion to approve the media services agreement as presented.
I second it.
Okay, any discussion on this contract?
I just have a question. Is there I'm just trying to, in my mind of thinking of being fair, is there an amount or a maximum of work? For instance, I don't know all that Mark is doing, except I know that they have Live with the Mayor every day now that Mark does. It requires his travel, it requires his setup, it requires everything. I don't know if that was originally included in this. I'm just asking the question. I just know how much video costs to run, and and such. So I'm not sure if that's included in this or how do we deal with that? That's my only point.
That's fair. I think, and we've talked to Mark about this. I think that for now he's good with the contract and having that included with it for now. So.
Okay, that's great. I just wanted to make sure that we're looking at all avenues of that. It would be the same way as if he went down to do one meeting a month or whatever too. So just kind of looking at the balance there.
Yeah.
Appreciate what he's doing because I do know it takes a lot of work to move things, set up things, change things, especially on a daily basis. And I think even like yesterday, they were at the animal shelter. So I mean, I think he's doing a good job. I've watched a lot of it. So I'm just making sure that the people who are working with the city are being taken care of. That's all. Thank you.
Jerry, did you have any questions or comments?
No.
Okay, I was pleased to see that the contract has termination clauses, which the original did not have. So I too am ready to proceed with it. All those in favor of the media services contract?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Next, are we going to deal with the Salvation Army restoration at this point? Is that still on the agenda or on the table?
I would say table.
Okay. All right, moving on to new business. We have bids for demolition for the Red Carpet Inn. Brian?
It's only asbestos abatement.
Oh, I'm
not
sorry.
demolition.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I knew
so
that.
I have 3 bids in my hand. I just want everybody to know that these are still sealed, every one of them. They're all sealed. And so I'm just going to proceed to right now open the bids, and I will read any information that is on there as far as cost and who they are. So the first bid is going to come from Air Management Techniques Incorporated. And this is the asbestos abatement quote for the Red Carpet Inn.
Ted, could you tell us where that vendor is located?
Sure, when I find out where they are.
Sure.
Muncie.
Okay. Thanks, Gretchen. So this is from Air Management Techniques Incorporated, 2650 Kilgore Avenue, Muncie, Indiana. The agent of the bidder is Lonnie Ward, and the amount of the bid is $189,000. Okay.
Bid number 2.
Bid number 2 comes from Environmental Demolition Group, LLC, from Erlanger, Kentucky, which is just outside of Cincinnati, I believe. Again, Environmental Demolition Group, 3520 Turfway Road, Erlanger, Kentucky, 41018. This bid comes to us in the amount of $243,475.
Thank
Okay.
you. Bid number 3.
Bid number 3 comes from,
You can just wait till you open it.
I will do that. Comes to us from FedEx. Everything this morning is very sealed. This quote, contractor's bid for public works, comes from Environmental Assurance Company Incorporated, 440 Hancock Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46222. And this comes to us in the amount of $285,000.
Thank you.
Are you sure there aren't more bids than that?
We just received 3. According to Brian, who's standing 6 feet away from me.
Okay. All right, I would ask for the board to take those under advisement.
Okay.
that will be our course of
I
action.
know there was another bidder that sent their bid in. So that's why I'm kind of puzzled. Are you guys, is this the last item on the agenda?
No.
Okay.
If you are able to track that down, I suppose we can consider that next week if there's proof that it was received in a timely fashion.
Okay.
Even though we were not able to open it and process it today, if you can track it down, we'll see what we can do about that,
Okay. All right. Thank you.
especially given our current situation. I think we can
Yeah.
be a little more lenient than otherwise, perhaps.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, okay. The bids are accepted and we will deal with them at a future date. Okay, next we have one from Cintas about a rental agreement.
Yep.
Brian, is that you? No?
That's me.
Trent.
That'll be me. Yep. So this is
I
just
knew it was one of you.
So this is just a renegotiation of a contract that we already had with them. We were paying $150 a week for them to provide the mats for City Hall to come in and clean them, and I believe provide the air fresheners that City Hall has. So Michael Wilson from the mayor's office actually renegotiated this, and we got it down to $120 a week, and they are going to provide us with new mats for the whole building. So essentially, we're going to be saving $30 a week going to a new contract, and we're going to be getting new mats.
Are we doing anything in addition because of COVID-19?
Not through them.
Okay. Is there a motion on accepting this rental agreement?
I make a motion, we accept it.
I would second that, please.
Okay, any questions or discussion on this one?
No, well done.
Okay, all those in favor of accepting the rental agreement, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving on. We also have a professional services agreement on the agenda.
Yep, so that'll be me as well. So this is an agreement to basically refresh the city's website. We had 3 bidders. This is the one that we decided to go with. They came in, they presented everything they could do. It lays out in several pages everything that they're gonna have available for us on our website. We feel that our website right now it doesn't serve the community well, and it doesn't serve for economic development when new companies want to come to the city well. So we're going to refresh it, make it look very appealing, and make it a lot easier for citizens and people outside the city of Muncie to really navigate it. So.
Okay, I would entertain a motion, then we can discuss.
I'd make a motion to accept this professional services agreement.
I second.
Okay, questions and comments?
Trent, you mentioned that you had other bids on this. How did this bid compare price-wise to other bids?
This was the highest price, but the other bids didn't really come close to it as far as the services they were going to provide and everything that they were going to be able to do for the city.
And when you say highest price, you're saying, is it twice as much, 3 times as much?
No, maybe a third more than the others.
But the value they provide is greater.
Correct. Yeah, the others that came in just didn't give us what we were really hoping for and expecting.
So this more lines up with what the services that you want.
Correct.
Lines up with that, okay.
And they've done the websites. I mean, they only do municipalities and government agencies. They've done Noblesville, Greenwood, Franklin, Evansville. So we were able to go out to those websites and really see what they were able to do for those cities and see the product that we were going to get from them.
So they specialize in municipalities, okay.
Yes.
As I recall, this is the one that was touted at the conference last year where the Noblesville people had this really spiffy website and interactive capability for people to go in and check out budgets and expenditures and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
You're just all very envious. Good.
We like spiffy.
Yes, we do.
Where will this money come from? To pay
This will
for
be
it?
paid. This will be paid out of edit funds.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
Nope.
And I forget the timing on this. Is this fairly immediate?
There will be a down payment upon start of the project. So I believe as soon as we sign this, there'll be a down payment due, and that down payment will be just under $9,000.
Okay, what's the timeline for completion? I mean, when can we see this new website in action?
6 months, I believe,
6
is
months, okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Jerry, did you have any other questions or comments?
No, ma'am.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any other new business coming before us today? Well, I have one thing that I would like to propose. Given that we've relaxed the stay-at-home orders slightly, I don't want to jump out there and do anything really rash, but what do you all think is possible in terms of our meeting in person next week, especially since we have bids to conduct? My personal feeling is that we can distance ourselves appropriately. The auditorium is large enough that it can certainly accommodate 25 people at appropriate distances. What do you think?
I like the idea.
Ted,
Yes, that's fine.
how about our city department heads? Are you good with having a in-person meeting?
Yep. I like that.
Well, let's try it next week and see what happens. If we need to revert to Zoom meetings, we can do that. One of the things Mrs. Hayes will need to do probably is have an agenda item where we ratify the claims that we decided those first couple of weeks when I verified that I gave approval, email approval. So if you could go back and figure out which dates those were, have that as a ratification item at the top part of the agenda, and we'll take care of that. Maybe just have it include the total amounts on those. I think there were only 2 weeks that we did that, and then we started Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
Do we think it's necessary to ratify the Zoom meeting ones with an in-person meeting?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, but
It wouldn't hurt. So maybe we need two additional items then. That way we're legal, in case the Board of Accounts ever comes back on us. Okay, anything else that we need to deal with?
Nope. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, we will see you next week at City Hall at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Thank you all for coming.